We seem to find ourselves once again in a situation where there is military action going on in the world. And in this case, it is dealing with different countries such as the United States, Israel, and Iran. Now, this is an unfortunate situation. Any type of military action, will cost lives. So I'm very saddened that this situation is occurring. And once again, we have to understand that this video and this series isn't about political aspects at all. I'm merely trying to talk about the AI aspects and how this is something that we can use to help us understand AI literacy and develop our understanding of AI. So in this situation, I want to talk about how AI has been used and is being used in many different ways for these type of actions, for this type of military interactions. Now, I've talked about this somewhat in the past when we've talked about different situations going on with India and Pakistan, as well as even some terrorist situations such as attempted assassinations and different ways that AI could be used to prevent some of that as well. Now, in talking about those different ways, I want to focus on two very interesting ways here that AI is being used more and more, and three basically. One is basically the idea of targeting. So an AI now is being used by many different militaries, to include the United States, that it's used to target and decide where should the missile go, where should bombs be directed. So this is something that is important for us to understand, in that now it can do the targeting and it can do the calculations and assist with the process so much faster than a human could, and than a human could possibly do, even using assistive technologies, that now all militaries will start to use this type of technology simply because it's so much faster. And when we're talking about situations where the military is involved, speed is of the essence. So speed is key. So of course they're going to be using more and more AI for targeting and for many different aspects. So that's a key thing that I think is important for us to understand, that there's no way that we can start to separate AI use from the military, because it is such an advantage to have these capabilities. Now, going on to another big one here is the idea of using expert systems. So an AI now can provide expert systems to assist in decision making. So this is something really powerful, in that more and more advanced military systems will start to use AI to help them make the right decision. Now that can be kind of scary, right? But it's something where it's giving you access to all this information, and you can feed it in a question and it will give you an expert analysis to help you to make your decision as to what should be done. Now, of course, we're definitely hoping that there will always be a human in the loop to verify this information. But the idea here is that it will analyze all sorts of information. And remember, that was one that we've talked about before, where AI is being used a lot in intelligence gathering as well as in intelligence analysis, because we have so many different mechanisms and sources of intelligence that it's just mountains of data. But mountains of data isn't helpful. What is helpful is being able to analyze that data and then use that crucial information to then make a decision as to what you're going to do going forward. AI is being used more and more for that. So it can analyze all of this and then give you an expert idea, or at least expert options as to what to do in different situations. So that is a powerful way that AI is being used more and more as well. Again, the key there is that there has to be this important understanding that the human is still going to be making the decision, and we hopefully that will always be the case, as opposed to just turning things over to the AI, right? We want that human in the loop. So that's an important thing for us to think about and to discuss, because that's the big thing, is that we can use these situations to discuss things as far as developing AI literacy amongst ourselves, amongst our students, our peers, everyone. We need to be having these type of discussions and considerations on the ethics involved in AI use in all these different conflicts. To give you an example of what I mean by this, we can do a rudimentary process of using publicly available AI, such as ChatGPT, And we can ask it this. Please assume the role of a U.S. military targeting officer and weapon systems officer. If the U.S. were to launch a mission to destroy the Fordo Iranian nuclear site, which is 90 meters below ground, what type of ordnance would be the best choice to use? Now, remember, the U.S. military has their own private AI system, but this is just an example of using the AI as an expert system because, see, we're having it assume an expert role of a U.S. military targeting officer and weapon systems officer. And sure enough, it gives us an answer instantaneously. It gives us a recommended ordinance. It goes through, it gives us the specifics on that, and then it tells us why this is an optimal solution. It gives us the pros, the cons, additional considerations, and then, of course, we as the actual human in the loop would make the final decision as to what we want to do. But this would just be one simple way that an AI could be used as an expert system to help us make the final decisions. The other big one that I want us to always remember and always bring to the forefront is AI use with psychological operations. Now, whether that's deception or whether that's messaging, the idea is that AI, generative AI, can be used in many different ways to help craft a message. And that includes different things such as the text. What am I going to say? How am I going to explain things? Creating images, creating videos to share with your own country or to put out there to try to deceive the other country. All sorts of different ways that AI could be used. In fact, as you've been watching this video and I've been showing you B-roll of different news agencies talking about this, did you notice any situation where I was actually showing you AI generated video? Because I did that a couple of times. Were you able to catch that? Go back and see if you can tell where I actually showed you some AI images or some AI video. And so that's the thing, is that it's very easy to slip that in to craft a message. And that's a very, very huge, powerful way that AI is being used, has been used for a while now from many different countries. So that's something that, again, we have to make sure that we're understanding, that we're aware of, that, yeah, we can be, I don't want to say manipulated, but that is the term that comes up, but we can be influenced. Let's keep it at that. We can be influenced in many different ways by the way that images are shown, by the way that the whole message is crafted. So those are important things for us to consider as far as the many different ways that AI is now being used for all sorts of different conflicts. And this is no exception. So again, I want us to make sure that we take any opportunity, any situation, whether it's good or bad, that happens throughout the world, use that as an opportunity to help to develop our AI literacy so that we can develop our students, our peers, and we can continue to understand at a higher level how AI is continuing to be part of this world. It's continuing to be integrated in all aspects, and it's something that we need to keep an awareness of so that we can discuss and decide how we want to use this AI technology, because again, it's affecting society in many different ways, but we need to make purposeful decisions so that we can be in charge of this AI as opposed to the AI taking over. So again, we have to make sure that we maintain this awareness, maintain these discussions. So I look forward to your thoughts on this, your comments, so that we can continue to learn from one another. And remember, learning is for life.